Levi Parsons Morton was a representative from New York and the 22nd Vice President of the United States. He later served as the 31st Governor of New York. Early life and career. Morton was born in Shoreham, Addison County, Vermont. His parents were the Reverend Daniel Oliver Morton, a Congregationalist minister of Old New England stock, and Lucretia Parsons. His older brother, David Oliver Morton, was mayor of Toledo, Ohio, from 1849 to 1850. He left school early and worked as a clerk in a general store in Enfield, Massachusetts, taught school in Boscawen, New Hampshire, engaged in mercantile pursuits in Hanover, New Hampshire, moved to Boston, entered the dry goods business in New York City, and engaged in banking there. He was an unsuccessful candidate for election in 1876 to the 45th Congress, but he was appointed by President Rutherford B. Hayes to be an honorary commissioner to the Paris Exhibition of 1878. Political career. Morton was elected, as a Republican, to the 46th and 47th Congresses representing Manhattan. He served from March 4, 1879, until his resignation, effective March 21, 1881. The 1880 Republican presidential nominee, James A. Garfield, asked Morton to be his vice presidential running mate, but Morton declined the offer. If he had accepted and history continued on the same course, Morton would have become the 21st president, instead of Chester A. Arthur, after Garfield's assassination. He asked to be appointed Minister to Britain of France instead. He was United States Minister to France from 1881 to 1885. Morton was very popular in France. He helped commercial relations between the two countries run smoothly during his term, and, in Paris on October 24, 1881, he placed the first rivet in the construction of the Statue of Liberty. Vice President. Morton was elected Vice President of the United States, on the Republican ticket with President Benjamin Harrison, in which capacity he served from March 4, 1889, to March 4, 1893. During his term, Harrison tried to pass the Lodge Bill, an election law enforcing the voting rights of blacks in the South, but Morton did little to support the bill against a Democratic filibuster in the Senate. Harrison blamed Morton for the bill's eventual failure, and, at the Republican convention prior to the 1892 election, Morton decided not to run for a second term and was replaced by Whitelaw Reid as the vice presidential candidate. Harrison and Reid went on to lose the 1892 election to Grover Cleveland and Adlai Stevenson, the Democratic candidates. In 1890 he became one of the first members of the District of Columbia Society of the Sons of the American Revolution. He was assigned National Society membership number 1838 and District Society number 38. Governor of New York. Levi Morton was Governor of New York in 1895 and 1896. He was considered for the Republican presidential nomination in 1896, but the Republican Party chose William McKinley instead. After his public career was over, he became a real estate investor. Death. He died on May 16, 1920, at Rhinebeck, in Dutchess County, New York. He died on his 96th birthday, the only vice president to have died on his birthday. He is interred in the Rhinebeck Cemetery. Legacy. The village of Morton Grove, Illinois, is named after Morton. He provided the funding necessary to allow Miller's Mill to pass through the upstart neighborhood, and provide goods to trade and sell. Morton Grove was incorporated in December 1895. Morton owned property in Newport, Rhode Island, and lived on fashionable Bellevue Avenue, in the mansion called Fair Lawn, a building currently owned by South Regina University, housing the Pell Center of International Relations and Public Policy. He left a nearby property to the city of Newport for use as a park. At the corner of Coggeshall and Morton Avenues, this land became Morton Park. Morton sold a donated property he owned in Hanover, New Hampshire, to Dartmouth College, and the college built Webster Hall on the land. Morton was considered an honorary alumnus at alumni gatherings in New York. He also owned a summer retreat in the Adirondack Park, on Eagle Island. The architecture is of the Great Camps style, designed by the notable architect William L. Coulter. Over the years, the island found its way into the ownership of the Girl Scouts of the USA, where it remains today as Camp Eagle Island. Morton was the second longest-lived Vice President of the United States, dying on his 96th birthday. Only John Nance Garner lived longer. Morton survived 5 of his successors in the vice presidency: Adlai Stevenson, Garrett A. Hobart, Theodore Roosevelt, Charles W. Fairbanks and James S. Sherman. Marriages, social life and other activities. Morton married his first wife, Lucy Young Kimball, on October 15, 1856, in Flatlands, Brooklyn. They had one child together. After her death, he married Anna Livingston Reed Street in 1873. They had 5 daughters. In retirement, Morton served as president of the Metropolitan Club at 1 East 60th Street, New York, between 1900 and 1911. He was preceded in that office by J. Pierpont Morgan, and succeeded by Frank Knight Sturgis. He was also a member of the Union League Club of New York. Morton served as president of the New York Zoological Society from 1897 to 1909.